UFC on Fox 9, Demetrious Might Mouse Johnson versus Joseph Benavidez. Now this is going to be my fight prediction, but before I get to it, I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about something first. And that is why we as MMA fans generally don't really appreciate flyweights as much as heavyweights, light heavyweights, and when I say we, I mean me included. I'm going to be the first guy to admit that I'm not exactly excited about this fight. Even though it's a championship fight, I'm still not exactly excited. Or I could even go as far as saying I'm really not interested in this fight. And this got me thinking, why is that? Why is it that I'm not exactly interested in this fight? Or flyweights in general? And just like every hard question you ask yourself, you usually want to justify it with some bullshit to make yourself feel less like an ass. And my justification for it was, these guys are not as popular. They don't have the big names yet. When they become as popular as other champions, they'll get their respect. But honestly, that's bullshit. That's a bullshit reason. That's really not why we as a whole are not as interested in these guys as we should be. But what exactly is the reason? Well, in my opinion, and this might sound fucked up, because it is, but in my opinion, I think the real reason why we are, or should I say, I am not exactly interested in these guys is because of their size. We as mixed martial arts fans, especially male mixed martial arts fans, we like to do this dumb shit where we kind of size up the fighters that we watch. Hey, can I take this guy? Can I take that guy? Will that fighter whoop my ass? Can I whoop that fighter's ass in a bar fight? And we all do this shit, and we tend to have more respect for the fighters that we are sure could definitely beat the shit out of us. Like the heavyweights, the light heavyweights, and middleweights, and welterweights. But then when you look at guys like Demetrious Johnson, it's understandable when someone, especially a guy who's like 6 foot and above, looks at Demetrious Johnson, who's 5'3", and thinks to himself, I could beat this dude up. And it's really not completely illogical to think like that. I mean, when you're bigger than someone, you naturally assume that because of that size difference, you have a clear advantage that could very well negate their skills. So it's understandable when these fighters are not exactly respected as much as they should. But this is wrong. And I could even go as far as saying that this is ignorant. Because just because we are bigger than these guys doesn't necessarily mean that we could take these guys when push comes to shove. There are so many different things that we tend to forget, like their speed, conditioning, mental toughness, and skills. And to think that our size alone is enough to negate all that is pretty crazy. Another reason why I think that these guys are not as appreciated as they should be is because of what happens when they fight. They barely touch each other. The action is too fast. It's almost like watching two little kids running around the octagon. The fights almost always go to decision, and when it's all said and done, you don't feel like you've watched a fight. So I get it. I totally get it. But there's a very good reason why this happens. A very good reason, and a very fascinating reason why this happens. This happens because the flyweight division is probably the most equal division. What I mean by equal is that the flyweights are usually very equal physically. They're usually around the same height, weight, same reach, and not only that, they are usually almost equal in speed, footwork, conditioning, agility, athletic ability, and toughness. Because these guys are physically and naturally equal half the time, their physical abilities cancel each other out. So now they are left with their raw technical abilities, and when a fight is completely technical, what happens is most people just don't enjoy it. We live in a society of instant gratification, and if someone is not getting punched right away, people get turned off. People want to watch fights like Bigfoot and Mark Hunt, where every technical aspect of MMA literally flies out the window, and fighters are just slugging it out. And you're probably never going to get a fight like that in the flyweight division because one, they ain't going to get that tired, they're not going to be that flat-footed, and they really don't hit that hard. It's going to be a bunch of bouncing around, elusive movements, awesome footwork, and lightning speed. And that's why it's hard to be interested in flyweights. Their fights are just simply not exciting. But I want to ask everyone that watches this video to do something. Try to appreciate the technical aspects of MMA. Allow yourselves to be mesmerized by how fucking fast these guys are, how elusive and technical these guys are, how well conditioned and skilled they are. There's certain things we naturally appreciate and enjoy, but there are also certain things that we have to learn to appreciate and enjoy, and flyweights are one of them. You and I, we got to try and learn to appreciate these guys because they work their asses off every day to put on these fights. Whew. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, I'll give you guys my prediction for this fight. It's always so difficult to predict fights like these because of how closely matched these guys are. So I honestly have no idea who is going to win this one. The last fight they had was a close split decision win for Johnson, and I think this one is also going to be a split decision win for Demetrious Johnson as well. I think it's going to be a harder fight because Joseph Benavidez has improved drastically thanks to his work ethic as well as the alpha male new coach Dwayne Ludwig. So I think he's going to bring some new tools to the fight, but I think at the end of the day, Demetrious Johnson is going to outwork him, and I think he's going to win this fight. I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm going to do what I preach. I'm going to try to start appreciating these guys a little more, and I hope you guys honestly do the same. So try and watch this fight. Try and watch the whole 25 minutes and try to see things from a more technical aspect just for once. Just for one time. One time, just try and do it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, from yours truly, Henry, and I'll see you guys soon. Keep yourself safe.